Herculez, our colleague Julien Laurent is reporting that PSG are ramping up their interest in Ajax right back and U.S. international Sergino Dest. According to Jules, specifically, PSG sporting director Leonardo likes Dest's profile, even though he does, Ale, as you have mentioned many times in this very space before, have a lack of top-flight experience so far in his career. Now, when we talked about Dest a couple weeks ago, both of you guys were lukewarm about the idea of him making the jump to Barcelona. Ale, I'm assuming you're not putting PSG on the same level as Barcelona. Could he be ready for PSG?
Well, yeah, I suppose not the same level, but it's not far behind. I think we can copy and paste that conversation we had a couple of weeks ago and put it into this very space right now. Although I do think that maybe there is an opportunity here for Sergino Dest because, again, similarly to Barcelona, PSG at the right back position is an area of need and it's an area that they haven't quite sorted out. And much like Barcelona, it hasn't been sorted out since the departure of Dani Alves. And there are many similarities here and many things to like about the situation for Sergino Dest and the interest of big clubs like Barcelona, and in this case, PSG. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, and I'll repeat that now, I think that a club like PSG, much like a club like Barcelona, will have no patience for a guy like Sergino Dest. Either he comes in and is ready to go and takes a hold of the position, or they move on. Because I don't think that PSG is in the business of developing talent, unlike Ajax, who nurture, grow, develop, take care of this very talent. It's like a beautiful flower, and you just water and take care of it, and it's so gorgeous, so that at the end you can cut that flower and give it to your loved one. Well, that's something that Ajax would do as well, because if Sergino Dest does become the player that we all think he can become, and that Ajax thinks that he can become, then they'll turn right back around and sell this guy at a major profit. And so I don't quite think that this is the jump that he should be taking, but if the opportunity is there, similar to Barcelona, it's really hard to turn down a club like PSG and a club that has the ambitions that PSG has.
Hurt, we've talked about the fit at Bayern Munich. We've talked about the fit at Barcelona. What about the fit potentially for Dest at PSG?
Top flight football. He's got a little over 30 appearances. Am I the only one who's surprised that we're talking over $20 million transfer fees? We're talking a player who's played 30-something games, and he's attracting the best teams in the world. I mean, I was skeptical at first. I know we all were, but PSG, Bayern, Barcelona, what do these clubs know that maybe we don't? They've all bought in. Listen, I'm all about his technical ability, his pace. I'm about his quick decision-making in the final third, how he can join with either foot, on the right-hand side, left-hand side, either flank. He's a very good player. But if you're asking me what fits that DNA that he already has, I think it's more Barcelona. I don't think they'll have the patience, as Ali said, but I don't really think that matters, because if you're Sergino Dest at this point in your career, if you can secure a big transfer, whether it's big money transfer, a big team transfer to a Barcelona, a Bayern Munich, or a PSG, you have to do it. If I were him and I had my choice of the bunch, and I think he's already made his choice internally. I think this was a few days back. We've seen in his Instagram that he had a full-blown kit, a Barcelona kit on. I think it's in his DNA. It's in that Dutch kind of football to want to play at Barcelona. He certainly has the tool set from what I've seen at this limited space. He's still a bit naive when it comes to defending. And we've seen that at the international level. But that's going to come with age. He's 19 years old. He's got less than 33 caps to his name, first-team football. This player is going to go somewhere. I don't know if I would say PSG is the right place, though.
Ale, what are we missing? I mean, obviously there are so many big teams seemingly interested in this guy. We keep talking about the lack of experience. Is this about how good Dest is, or just how desperate teams are for right backs?
Well, I think I wouldn't call it desperation, but it is a margin of opportunity for these clubs, because for us, it may seem like 20 million euros or pounds or dollars or whatever the number is. It may seem like a whole lot of money, but in the market in which these teams are handling themselves, that is actually, you could say, chump change. It's peanuts. And so you say to yourself, okay, let's say I invest this money on this kid, and he becomes what we think and hope that he becomes. Now we've made a heck of a deal. Now we're talking an entirely different level of opportunities for us financially and for a club in terms of what we do on the field as well. So if we can fill a need at a price in which, and in the market as a pre-COVID as it was back then, a market that was getting out of control, you're saying to yourself, you know what? It's a chance worth taking. And I think what happens a lot is one big club gets interested, and then the other big clubs that say, what are they looking at? Wait a minute. Maybe they have an inside track. Maybe they have inside information, something that we don't have. Now we're interested as well. And because all these clubs have a need for a right back, they're like, hey, what if they get ahead of us? No, they cannot get ahead of us. We're gonna offer some more money, and we're gonna compete with them because we can offer something better for this player. It's a matter of not being outdone by the other clubs and the fact that you have a need, and all those things are coming together, and they favor Sergino Dest. And if you're Sergino Dest and Barcelona comes knocking, you say, yep, I'm right here. And if PSG comes knocking, you say, yep, I'm right here. You don't turn down clubs, certainly like Barcelona. You don't do it. It really changes the profile of your career.
If you're Sergino Dest, you're looking at the players on PSG who you want to play with. Pretty tempting, I'd imagine, when you look at Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, the guys who could be playing in front of him right on that right flank.
Yeah, I agree. It's very tempting, but I think a lot of players today get infatuated, go with the romance of that is with the history of Barcelona, and especially if you're coming from a Dutch system, I just think that makes sense for him. Listen, this is a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but I do feel, and I know you're not going to like this answer, Seb, but a majority of this interest, besides his good play and his potential and that ceiling, is the North American market. We've seen it with Mexican players. We've seen it with Christian Pulisic. It enhances their value. Obviously, these clubs see a market for that. They see a good player that they could potentially take that risk on. And I've heard many times, Ali, on this platform say that this market is going to be different. This post, pandemic market, this transfer market is going to change. I still think 20 million maybe is chump change for us. But on a right back, that's a good chunk of change for a prospect. So they got to be seeing something more than just that ceiling.
Yeah, I want to know what the draw is here if you're Dest. We know people would want to play with Messi. We know they want to play with Ronaldo. What about a guy like Neymar? Is he a guy that now is still, at this point in his career, a major draw for other players?
Well, if you're Sergino, I don't think that you make the decision based upon the fact that Neymar is going to be there because, honestly, we don't really know how long Neymar is going to be at PSG. Every year is a different conversation with Neymar, and whether they say, well, he's PSG through and through, and then the next day it's like, there are issues with Neymar. So you don't make your decision based upon that. You make your decisions based upon what you think about the club and what the ambitions of the club are. And if Neymar is not going to be there, you know that the club is going to go get somebody else at that level, on that caliber, because they want to compete at the European stage. And so this would be a step up, either with PSG or Barcelona, would be a step forward for Sergino Dest. And so regardless of whether Neymar is there or not, I think you make your decision based upon what helps you, what benefits you. It's a major, major choice and a major, major decision. So you better make it understanding of what benefits you as a player, not what other players could do for you out on the field.
Sergino Dest, U.S. International Ajax Talent of the Year, linked to Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG, among others.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.